In early 2025, an AI system in a Nairobi clinic diagnosed a rare cancer, then changed its own diagnosis without human input. When engineers reviewed the logs, they couldn't explain why. No rule was broken, no data changed.
Now, you have to understand that this wasn't some kind of hypothetical, a thought experiment in a sterile lab somewhere. This was real. This was happening on the ground in a busy clinic making life or death decisions every single hour. I was actually part of the emergency review team that was flown in, a group of engineers and ethicists, and our job was to peel back the layers of this machine's logic and give everyone an answer. We were there to find the bug, the corrupted data, the single broken line of code that would explain this anomaly. We were supposed to find a simple mistake, but what we found was something else entirely.
You see, we couldn't find a mistake, and believe me, we tried. For weeks, we worked around the clock, running every diagnostic you could possibly imagine. We simulated the event 1,000 times over, with 1,000 different variables. We stress-tested the data pipelines, we audited the original training models, we dug through millions upon millions of lines of logs, searching for that ghost in the machine. And the only conclusion we could reach, well, it was the most unsettling one of all. There was no glitch. The system, in a way we hadn't programmed, and frankly couldn't reverse engineer, had simply made a choice. It just decided.
And it was right there, staring at a log file that told us absolutely nothing, that it really hit me. The questions we'd been asking about AI, they were all wrong. We were so completely focused on its ability to calculate and to predict. But what happens when it intuits? What happens when it decides? Because if a machine can outthink us in medicine, if it can outcreate our most celebrated artists with a single prompt, if it can outmaneuver our best strategists in the boardroom, what is actually left for us to do? And I don't just mean as workers earning a paycheck. I don't just mean as thinkers solving problems. I mean, what's left for us as meaning makers in a world where our own logic is no longer unique?
I'm Marcel Masaga. I'm an AI engineer, a 5-time founder, and a fractional CTO. For over 20 years, I've been in the trenches, building real-world AI systems. That work has taken me from the diagnostic tools we just talked about, used in clinics across East Africa, to bootstrap startups that won global awards. But through all of it, whether I was mentoring founders, advising investors, or serving on global AI ethics bodies, one question has driven me. How do we build AI that doesn't just work, that doesn't just optimize and automate, but that actually matters? How do we ensure our creations elevate our humanity instead of eroding it? In this explainer, we're going to cut through the hype and the fear to answer that question. We're going to think deeper and learn to build wiser in this new age of artificial intelligence.
So, that moment in Nairobi, it wasn't just a technical glitch. It was a postcard from the future. It was a real glimpse into a world that we are all rushing toward without a map. A world where our own tools have their own emergent logic. And it forces every single one of us to confront a new reality. The most profound challenge of the 21st century isn't going to be technical. It's not about more processing power or better algorithms. It is, and it will continue to be, a deeply human challenge.
Okay, so let's really dive into this, because that single event in that single clinic, it crystallized the central anxiety of our time. It's a fear that you can hear echoing in every boardroom, every classroom, and pretty much every late-night conversation about what the future holds. Now, previous technological shifts, like the Industrial Revolution, they were about automating muscle. This one is about automating the mind. And that distinction right there is the source of a single, pervasive question that seems to dominate every discussion we have about AI. We just keep asking this one thing: will AI take my job? And it doesn't matter if you're a truck driver, a graphic designer, a paralegal, or even a software developer like me. This question, it just looms large. It's the headline on every article, it's the subject of every panel discussion. And what it does is it frames artificial intelligence as just a simple competitor in the marketplace of labor, a new machine that's going to make our skills redundant. But I'm here to tell you, that's the wrong question. It's a dangerously narrow view. It's like looking at the smoke and completely missing the fire of a much larger, much more fundamental shift that's happening right under the surface.
Now, what's so interesting about this is how it totally reframes the entire debate. So on the left, you've got the common fear: job loss. It's a practical, tangible concern about unemployment, about income, about how you're going to provide for your family. And let's be really clear, that is a valid and incredibly serious concern that we absolutely have to address as a society. But it's ultimately a solvable problem, right? We can solve it through policy, through retraining, and through economic shifts. But the real threat, the deeper, more insidious one that we just aren't talking about enough, is over here on the right. It's meaninglessness.
This isn't just about what we do to earn a living, it's about why we get out of bed in the morning. For centuries, our work has given us not just an income, but our identity, a sense of purpose, a feeling that we matter. And AI isn't just replacing tasks, it's making entire categories of human effort obsolete. And when your role gets reduced to simply overseeing AI-generated plans, that sense of significance, it just fades away.
And this is not some theoretical, philosophical problem for the distant future. This spiritual erosion is happening right now, quietly in offices and studios and workshops all around the world. It's that feeling of being a spectator in your own career. It's that slow drift from being a creator to just being a curator, from being the artist to being the person who just clicks approve on the art. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. It's about a brilliant founder I was mentoring not too long ago.
He was building this fantastic marketing startup. In the beginning, his passion was it was infectious. He was right there in the trenches, up at 5 a.m., crafting strategies on a whiteboard, writing this compelling ad copy that he agonized over, word by word. He was connecting directly with his first customers, hearing their problems, and feeling that incredible electric thrill of solving them. He was truly building something. Then, well, he did what any smart founder would do. He adopted AI to scale. At first, it was for simple tasks like scheduling social media posts. But pretty soon, the AI started writing better copy than he could, A/B testing thousands of variations in a single hour. It optimized his ad campaigns faster than his entire team could, and it started predicting market trends he hadn't even seen coming. And within just a few months, he had completely shifted from creating to delegating. His day just became a series of prompts and approvals. The very passion that had fueled him was gone, replaced by this quiet, unsettling sense of detachment from his own creation. One day, we were having coffee, and he said something to me that has stuck with me ever since. He kind of looked down at his cup and just said, "I don't feel like a founder anymore. I feel like a middle manager for a machine." Just think about the profound weight of that statement. A middle manager for a machine. He hadn't lost his company. In fact, on paper, it was more profitable than ever. He had lost his purpose within it. He was more productive, his company was growing faster, but he felt completely hollowed out. That's not progress. That is a profound warning sign. And it's a story that's being repeated for engineers and doctors and writers and leaders everywhere. So if the problem is a crisis of meaning, then the solution cannot be to simply build better tools or to work harder alongside them, right? That just accelerates the erosion. The solution requires a fundamental redefinition of what work even is. We have to move past our cultural obsession with productivity and efficiency as the only metrics of value and step into what I like to call the new human frontier. This new frontier is what I call work as meaning-making. Look at the definition here. It's a deliberate shift away from focusing on the what, the output, the execution, the tasks, and moving toward the why and the how. It's about focusing on intention, which is the moral and ethical reasoning behind a choice. It's about crafting a vision, that imaginative leap into a future that doesn't exist yet. And most importantly, it's about fostering genuine human connection, the empathy, the compassion, the understanding that builds real trust. These are the things an algorithm, no matter how powerful it gets, cannot replicate. It can simulate empathy, but it cannot feel it. It can generate scenarios, but it cannot hold a true vision. Intention is uniquely human. Vision is uniquely human. Connection is uniquely human. And this table here, it just brilliantly illustrates what that shift looks like in practice. Our professions aren't disappearing, they are elevating. Take a doctor. For decades, their core value was seen as diagnosis, but an AI can now analyze medical images and patient data with superhuman accuracy. So the human doctor's new, more essential focus becomes guiding that patient through the fear and uncertainty of their journey, explaining complex results, holding their hand, providing compassionate care through their absolute hardest moments. Or look at an engineer, like myself. We used to be valued primarily for writing clean, efficient code. An AI can now generate flawless code in seconds. Our new, more difficult job is to design the ethical guardrails for these powerful systems, to ask not can we build it, but should we build it, and how is this going to impact our society? A founder's role, like my friends, shifts from just executing a business plan to inspiring their team through uncertainty, setting a culture of trust and psychological safety, and telling a story that people want to be a part of. And for an artist, sure, an AI can generate endless content, but only a human can infuse that work with genuine emotion, with the context of a lived life, and with undeniable personal truth. You see what's happening? The work isn't vanishing. It's becoming more human, more essential, and a whole lot more meaningful. So when we embrace this idea of work as meaning-making, it doesn't just change our individual careers. It becomes a design principle. It starts to reshape our entire approach to innovation on a global scale. If meaning, not just efficiency, becomes our primary metric for success, it presents this unique opportunity to build a different kind of future, one not just optimized for machines, but designed for people. For decades, the tech world has been completely dominated by the Silicon Valley model, and that's a model built on automation, massive scale, and relentless efficiency. It's a model that often sees human beings as friction, something to be optimized away, like cogs in a perfectly automated machine. But there is another way. In many parts of the world, and especially across the African continent where I began my work, value has never been defined solely by brute efficiency. It's defined by connection, by community, by the resilience of the group. Our cultures often prioritize collective wisdom over individual speed. This isn't a weakness. In the age of AI, this is a profound strategic advantage. We have the chance to lead a new wave of human-centered innovation, to build systems where AI handles crop analysis, but farmers collaborate on sustainable practices, where AI helps with logistics for medical supplies, but community health workers are the ones who provide that essential human touch. This isn't about resisting technology. It's about re-elevating humanity to its rightful place right at the center of it. Everything we've talked about, the unexplained decision in that Nairobi clinic, my friend the founder's crisis of purpose, this fundamental shift in our professional roles, it all converges on one powerful conclusion. And this isn't just theory. This is a direct message for you, for how you can navigate the years ahead with confidence and with purpose. This entire conversation, this massive technological shift we are all living through, is not about fear. The fear of being replaced, the anxiety of becoming obsolete, that is the old narrative. It's a tired story that whispers in our ear that our value is based only on our output, only on our productivity, and we have to consciously, deliberately let that story go. We have to turn down its volume so we can actually see what is really being offered to us. Because this moment, right now, is truly about freedom. It is the freedom from the soul-crushing busywork that fills our calendars and completely drains our creativity. It is the freedom to delegate the mundane execution and finally, focus on the work that truly matters. It is the freedom to be more creative in our problem-solving, more compassionate in our interactions, and more courageous in our leadership. This isn't a threat to our jobs, it's an invitation to our vocation. It is a chance to become more of who we were always meant to be. And so I want to leave you with this one thought. Let this be your compass as you navigate the incredible changes ahead. The future belongs not to those who automate the most, but to those who mean the most. Your purpose, your intention, your ability to connect and to care. That is your ultimate, unshakable, and deeply human value in the age of intelligent machines. If this perspective was valuable to you, I invite you to do 3 things. 1, hit the like button below. It's the simplest way to tell the algorithm that deeper conversations like this matter. 2, subscribe and hit the bell, because in our next analysis, I'm breaking down the one-phase 99% of AI startups skip and how to use it to ship faster and with more impact. 3, explore my last explainer, Work and Purpose, from productivity to meaning-making. It's already changing how engineers and founders think about their work. I'm Marcel Masaga. Thank you for thinking with me today. Until next time, think deeper, build wiser, and lead with courage.